Ronald Reagan was right. He was dead on the money. And I realized that he is part or was part of the establishment, right? I've come to the conclusion both the Democrats and Republicans are equally to blame, for the situation we have ourselves in. I'm a conservative person. I've always believed Republicans are going to do the right thing. I since have had my eyes opened, my own awakening, when I find out what George Bush did in Iraq to the Iraqi people, 200 to 600,000 unalived in Operation whatever the stupid name was for it. Not only were that many people unalived, but hundreds of thousands, I've heard even up to maybe 1 million displaced because of that. And you can learn more about this in the Cost of War Project, Brown University. Wild. It's wild. Ronald Reagan was right when he said governments don't solve problems, they create them. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Let's go through the list of just the things that are on top of my mind. The national debt, 35 plus trillion currently as of today, January 18th, 2025, 35 plus trillion. I don't think it's crossed the 36 trillion mark yet. It's coming. And I saw a few months ago that the government is paying, because of that debt, the government is paying $1 billion in interest. Now, I don't know if that's per year, probably per year, or per whatever, but $1 billion in interest. That's the gift that these a-holes who are running private central banking gives to the American people. Lend money at a high interest rate to their government. All you got to do is get government officials, which clearly will sell out their fellow Americans for fun and profit. Clearly. Federal Reserve Act is a prime example. Anyone in Congress or whatever, maybe not all of them are bad news, but clearly most of them are. These bills wouldn't be getting passed, so clearly they'll sell out Americans, and then the Federal Reserve has to print more money to service that debt and pay the interest on it, and then Americans have to pay more at the grocery store for food and stuff like that. But I digress. They don't create solutions, they create problems. So Federal Reserve or national debt is one big problem, 35 trillion. The drug problem in America is another big problem. I mean, have you seen some of the wild new drugs people are doing, these zombie drugs, right? I see videos coming out of Philadelphia. I see some coming out of LA. Go check them out. It's heartbreaking is what it is. So the drug problem is not getting better, in my opinion. And why are we spending millions or billions of dollars? Probably be a better solution if they just didn't do anything at all. All these problems could probably be better solved if they didn't do anything at all. So let's continue the list. Let's talk about the border crisis. I don't care who is in office, Democrat or Republican. I don't attribute the border problem to Joe Biden. I attribute it to the federal government of the United States of America. I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, it's Biden's fault. It's the government's fault. I don't care who's running the government. Just like I don't attribute COVID to Donald Trump. It's the people who are running the government, or the COVID response to Donald Trump. And what the FDA did about misrepresenting ivermectin, and how they locked people down, how they had all of these different protocols that now it's come out was complete and total bullshit. But the damage is done. Family and relationships are disrupted. Businesses are disrupted. Money is gone from the federal coffers into the hands of these a-hole pharmaceutical companies who have a long history of making fraudulent, misleading claims about their products. It is wild, absolutely wild. Like, you can't even make this shit up. It's so bizarre you can't make it up. You couldn't write it if you wanted to. It's so fraudulent. It's so criminal what's happened in our world over the last handful of years. Let's keep going. So what did we cover? Let's recap. National debt, a complete shit show, and the interest that services the debt. The drugs, border, What else? Education. Holy shit. I look at some of the things that the federal government is mandating to teach kids these days, and it's mind-blowing. Absolutely No wonder kids are confused. Common Core, critical race. What's the other one? Gender. Why would you spend your time teaching kid about gender instead of something that is absolutely useful in the world? Mathematics, reading, writing, creative thinking, or critical thinking. Food industry. Now, let's talk about that one. Again, recapping why the federal government doesn't solve problems, they create them. So all these food manufacturers have been allowed, the government has allowed them to put the most ridiculous shit in food you have ever imagined. Let's go through the list. Seed oils that are highly inflammatory to the body, hydrogenated oils and partially hydrogenated oils that the body doesn't know how to process that because it's a fake food. So what does the body do? It puts it off into fat. That's why people are fat. Body doesn't know how to process the fake food. It's a hydrogenated oil. It doesn't exist in nature. Dyes. Food dyes, which are synthetic, made from BS. The government is just now banning red food dye, which they should have never allowed in the food in the first place. Corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup. Those lead to you-know-what. I'm not going to go into it here because I'm not a doctor. Do your own research. But those can lead to pre-diseases. What else kind of funky ingredients does the FDA allow? Like, all of this shit is coming to light and people are waking the F up. Let's see. Sugars aren't beneficial, but they allow those in. Excitotoxins, or chemicals that make the food taste better than it actually is, so that the food becomes addictive. So not only is it shit food, but people get addicted to it. Highly processed food people get addicted to. The FDA is responsible for that because a lot of people, I haven't for 20 plus years, but a lot of people believe that the government is looking out for them. Falsely believe that the government is looking out for them. And that's a big problem when the government is allowing the fox into the henhouse, so to speak. What else in food can we talk about? Preservatives, they're really bad for the gut microbiome. If the preservatives make the food last longer on the shelf, what do you think it's going to do in the gut? Nothing good. Nothing good. Same with hydrogenated oils. They make the food last longer on the shelf. Let's wrap up the food situation by saying this. Everything the FDA allows manufacturers to put in the food is designed to help the manufacturers make money. Bottom line, bar none, increase the profit because all of it makes the food taste better. They sell more of that bullshit. Makes the food last longer on the shelf, increase profit margins. Makes the food look better. We talked about dyes making the food look better. All of it benefits the food manufacturers. And they say they're for the American people. They're not for the American people at all. People are waking up. Please do your homework. Learn to be a dietitian and nutrition. Because in my experience, like, the most important thing you do is what you put in your mouth, in the food and beverages that you consume. Bar none. What do they say? Diet is 80% of health. I've even heard some people go even higher than that. I think it's 80% of health. 100%. You've heard it. Abs are made in the kitchen. What else can we talk about? Problems the federal government say have created instead of solved. Let me see. That's a pretty good list. Education, border, national debt, food, oh, dude, we forgot about the pharmaceutical industry. Here's what I don't get about the pharmaceutical industry. So the pharmaceutical industry is objectively the most corrupt, fraudulent industry on the planet based on fines levied from the Department of Justice. Billions of dollars, all of them. You can go and Google Wiki, pharmaceutical industry, fines. You can find it there. There's many articles. Pharmaceutical industry, the worst companies on the planet, and the federal government, because they're so corrupt, gave them billions of dollars during COVID. Make it make sense. That's why you're seeing an explosion of pharmaceutical products coming onto the market. And I'll close with this. You and I both know pharmaceutical products do not solve the problem. They create more problems. They manage symptoms at best. So there you go. That's why I believe Ronald Reagan was on the money. Again, not discussing whether he was, part of the uniparty or also part of the problem in the world. But I will say his statement about the government solving or creating problems was right on the money. Thank you very much for watching this video. I appreciate you very much. Leave me a thumbs up if you like it. And I also want to invite you to go check out the Media Business Blueprint. Right now in the world, there is an incredible opportunity for people who want to help raise awareness and bring to the light of consciousness all of these challenges and problems that we're facing in the world so that you can help your fellow humans. I call it a win-win-win. The first win is you get to get knowledge because you're going to become an investigative journalist and go out and find out what's happening in the world. So you win because you are ahead of the game because knowledge is power in this world. The second win is that you get to help your fellow human beings and make the world a better place, right? By sharing knowledge and information with them that they may not have had. The third win, and this is a possible win for you, is that you may be able to sell digital products that you have created based on your area of knowledge and expertise to the people in this world to help them prosper, to help them win, etc. So it's a 3-win. You can learn more at MediaBusinessBlueprint.com. I'm super excited to share it with you. I use it my own self and have been using it for 10 years total since 2013, but really heavy since 2016. It's a complete entire system to help you get the mindset, overcome the fear of expressing yourself, to help you design content, right? To help you create the systems and processes and checklists, because I'm a solo creator and I help solo creators do the same thing. You don't need a team. You don't need to hire a marketing agency because those people can cut into your profits. And honestly, just between you and me, I've never heard anyone say that they had a great experience hiring a digital media marketing agency or a social media marketing agency. Not saying they can't be out there, but as far as my friends and my acquaintances talking about their experiences hiring those people, I've never heard them say it was the best money they've ever spent. They've always said, no, I shouldn't have done that. So you become a solopreneur, and the way you get around the complexities of it, posting on all the social media sites, creating, producing, and editing, is that you use systems and processes. And I'll teach you all those things that I've discovered on my own journey. Before you go check out Media Business Blueprint, go check out my YouTube channel or Odyssey or Rumble, and also anywhere on social media at GMarkPhillips. YouTube channel is youtube.com/GMarkPhillips. Everywhere is GMarkPhillips. Go look at my stuff. If that's something that excites you, that you think would be fun, and that you want to dive into, let me know. MediaBusinessBlueprint.com. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Bye-bye.